name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm talking about spooky books that I really need to read. Since we are in the middle of the spookathon and it is actually, the spooky season of October, I figured I would pick out a few books that I've had on my shelves, some for a little while and some just picked up recently, that I consider a spooky book or should have some spooky elements that I feel like I really need to just suck it up and get to it. So I have some books here and they are basically covering a whole bunch of different genres, so we're gonna jump right on into the first one that we have on top. This is Shadow House number 2, You Can't Hide by Dan Pawlowski. This is a book that I've actually had on my shelves since I want to say this one came out. I read the first Shadow House book at least 3 years ago, I want to say now. And this is a middle grade horror type of story. I don't know much about the second one here, but the first Shadow House book had a cast of kid characters who are basically all coming together at this house. They all got sent different letters, or I think some of them even got phone calls. It was all different circumstances that basically led them to this house, and while they're there they realize this house is definitely haunted. I remember there being quite a twist at the end that I really enjoyed, but otherwise these are usually really short books, really quick reads. I always love the way that they do the covers too, because it has the like a laminated sort of insert here, and this one doesn't really have much of a change, but the first one's really cool. So because I just wanted to show you guys, this is the first one, and when you open it up she's just like a normal girl, and so there's our spooky sort of laminated overlay. But these are just really quick middle grade horror stories. They remind me a little bit of like R.L. Stine, that kind of thing. Like, it's not super scary for an adult, but they are still fun horror-y type of stories. And like I said, it's been forever since I read the first one, but I did like the ending, like the twist that they sort of had, and it definitely left it open for more, and I just don't know why I didn't pick up the second one yet. And knowing me, there's probably more in this series now. But I would definitely like to get to these soon. The next one on my stack here is Feed by Mira Grant. Mira Grant is a pen name of Shauna McGuire. This is another book that I've had for years. Years. I don't even remember how long I've had it. I'm pretty sure I picked this up when I used to work at Barnes & Noble, and not the recent Barnes & Noble. The one years ago, because I've worked at a couple of them. So at least like 6 years ago I picked this up. This is a zombie novel. I don't remember too much about it. I believe this one is like they cured cancer, they cured the common cold, but in the process of that they ended up creating people that need to feed. So this is a zombie novel. I know that this, I think, is a trilogy. It is sort of thick, but it is also a mass market paperback. But I've been wanting to read it, but I think the whole point of me not reading it yet is because of how thick it looks compared to some of the other books. However, I also then have books that are normal sized that are this thick that I will pick up. I don't know what it is, but I definitely need to read this. The next one we have here is The Chalk Man by C.J. Tudor. This is a book that I picked up last year when my husband and I were in the UK, basically because of this gorgeous spine. I love how it's not the title on the spine, but it is Chalk Men. This one is, I believe, a thriller. I don't know if there's supernatural elements to it or not. It is blurbed by Stephen King. That's another reason I picked it up, but I love this blurb too. If you like my stuff, you'll like this. Like, that is this most simple blurb, but again, it's blurred by Stephen King. I had to pick it up. So forgive me if the summary of this is completely wrong. There is not actually a good summary on the back. There's not a summary in the middle. And I left my phone upstairs, so I'm not going to be able to check Goodreads. But from what I remember, there is a friend group, I believe, when they were kids, and they would draw chalk figures or chalk men to each other, and then one day they started appearing on their own. So again, I don't know if this is going to have a supernatural element to it or not, but also one day the chalk figures lead them to a dead body. This gives me vibes of like It, but also like Stand By Me, which is another one of Stephen King's works. I don't remember if this short story is also titled Stand By Me. I don't think it is. But this is one that I've had for over a year now. I meant to read it last October. I didn't. I don't know why I'm putting it off. Next, we have The Devouring Gray by Christine Lynn Herman. This is a young adult, I believe a fantasy. Oh gosh, it's very glary. I mean, it's a very gorgeous book. It's very shiny. We'll try to not blind you guys here. And this one is about a girl who, after her sister has passed away, her mother basically ups the family and moves them to Four Paths, I believe the town is called. Yes. And this is apparently a place that her mother was from, and this place has the gray around it, which is some sort of forest, or I believe in the summary it even says like a dimension that has a monster in it. And this is all about a group of teens, I'm pretty sure, coming together to sort of figure out how to defeat the monster that lives around this town. I don't know much else. I don't know how much fantasy elements we actually have in here besides maybe the monster, but if you guys can see, we definitely have like a skull on our cover. It's just absolutely gorgeous. But we also have a very ominous looking forest on our end papers. So even just the vibes of the book, like the cover and everything, definitely gives me those spooky vibes, and I really, really want to read this. I'm pretty sure this came out in 2019. Next, I have Night Film by Marisha Pessl. This is a book that, again, I purchased a few years ago. I got it on bargain, so it's not like I purchased it when it first came out. But I was always a little iffy about it, but I had so many people telling me that I need to read this one. This is some sort of thriller. I believe there is either a missing girl or somebody has died, and it leads back to a film director and his family where apparently bad things follow them. But the thing that also makes people suggest this for me is it has like found elements in it. So like it's gonna have pictures and text and like things, because I'm pretty sure it's a reporter, an investigative journalist who is the point of view in this book. And so I believe this is all of him going through and sort of trying to figure out exactly what happened. This one also has a very ominous forest type feel on the end papers, and so while I am a little bit apprehensive about it, I've heard nothing but good things, and the found footage aspect of it definitely makes me want to read it, so I probably should just do that. And then last but not least, we have The Drifting Classroom by Kazuo Umez. I might be mispronouncing that last name, but this is a manga series that, while I worked at the last Barnes & Noble I worked at, I had a coworker who was basically my manga person, and we would just sort of talk about the different mangas, and this was one that he had been recommending because I love Junji Ito. This one literally just came out on Tuesday this week, so 2 days ago. This is a, like, I don't know if they're calling it a collector's edition or what they are, but this is a hardcover version of, I want to say, either 2 or 3 volumes of his original manga in it. So this is an older manga. It had already been translated into English previously in smaller volumes, but now this is like the pretty edition. I believe they're going to have a second volume coming out, and I don't know how many they're planning on, but at least the first 2 are like in the system. I think both of them might even be on Goodreads already. This one is all about a classroom. I'm pretty sure there's different sort of stories and things that happen going on with this. All I've been told is it is very similar to like Junji Ito's sort of style, so very graphic horror type of things, but also I've been told this one is just like really weird and messed up, and so I really want to read it. I literally picked it up this week, and I might try to fit it in for the Spookathon that is currently happening. I had a pretty ambitious TBR for that already because I have a baby and I'm with him quite often, and so I have to fit my reading around him. Actually, if you guys see me looking off to the side, that's because he's down there watching me film this right now. Say hi, baby. Hi, baby. But so, if possible, I would really like to read this. It is a nice, thick chunker of a manga, and mangas do go by pretty quickly, but I'm really happy to have this because he would talk about this like non-stop whenever we would get to like things that were similar to Junji Ito, because he knew I never read this one. And so I'm very ready for it. The art style, I do want to say, because it is an older one, is not exactly the type of art style I would normally gravitate towards. And I'm a very visual person when it comes to manga and graphic novels. However, I think because it is a horror manga, the art style being a little sketchy and a little bit weird is not fully off-putting, because of the fact that it is going to get very weird and horror-y. Whereas like if I had this kind of art style with more of a shoujo manga, I'm not sure I would normally pick that up. So we will see how that all meshes together. But this is the most recent book that I've picked up that is spooky, that I really, really want to get to. Okay, so that is everything that I have right now. I'm sure I have plenty of other books on my shelves that I really want to get to, even ones that have some spooky elements, but these were the ones that I thought of right away. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Leave me a comment below letting me know if you've read any of these spooky books, because I would love to hear your guys' opinions. Subscribe to this channel if you would like to see more videos. I do have videos up Mondays and Thursdays, so I will see you then. Bye!